Here we are. We're part of our Austin, Texas meetup in May 2021, and Chris has kindly let me drive his 2012 Evora GP.
Where my house is on the big
It is, well, it's selling me. Let me put it this way. I said when I drove in Germany, the Lotus 400, the Evora 400, that's the one I would take. And it's been since then, since I've driven an actual Evora that's really good and is manual and proper, and it has the supercharger whine over your left shoulder, and it was delightful. And I have to admit, I want one. I need to own one of these in my life. So you know the specs on this car. It is very special. The livery is actually hand painted, and of course Chris keeps playing with the power depending on how he feels that day, but it's about 400 horsepower. And that steering is really what the Evora does so well, and that's what I really I love. But it's the rest of the build quality, it's the rest of the car. So thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it, man.
Here's the thing about the Evora. The Evora gets forgotten, and it shouldn't get forgotten. If you're a person who you say the Elise is too hardcore for me, but the Cayman, I don't know if I want a Cayman, this is your car. It's the dead center between the two. I don't understand why they get overlooked so much, and I don't care that this is the early first gen. The 400s and the GTs are great. Get yourself an Evora S. Be happy.
And big thanks to the Lotus Owners Group Texas, and calling out Chris and Juhi Lindley. Thank you both for your hospitality, for leading the way, for doing all that you did. And, Chris also let Todd and I both drive his 2012 Lotus Evora S GP.
Which is awesome.
With the special livery.
But either way, it was fantastic.
Was it a 14? Okay, good.
It was such a fun car. So it was cool to drive that. Also, it just so happened because it was Chris and his wife and the Lotus Group involved. It was more Lotuses than I've ever seen at a Cars and Coffee or a drive, ever.
Lotus heavy.
It was amazing. It was like 6 Elises in a row. I was like, I never see this. But they're like doing a trial run because the Lotus Owners Group, like 40th anniversary thing, is here in Salt Lake. Yes, Log 40 is here in Salt Lake in September. And apparently this Texas Lotus Group is connecting up with the other, because Texas is big, the other part of the Texas Lotus Group, and going to sweep up into Colorado and gather up the Colorado Lotus Group and then come en masse to Salt Lake over the course of multiple days. How many Loti are going to be in that lineup? I can't even imagine. And that's just those guys coming. It's going to be nuts.
Chris even gave me a Lotus t-shirt. He's trying to push me over the edge, and I will admit, ever since I've driven the Lotus Evora 400 when we did that in Germany, that's a car I would own. It was spectacular and brilliant. I loved it, and it reminded me of how good that car is to drive. It was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for all the Lotus owners that came out. And if you're wondering, we did have barbecue.
Oh, yes, we did. A couple times.
We ate at Style Switch Barbecue. That was on Lamar Boulevard in Austin. And then during the drive on Saturday, we stopped in Lano, Texas.
Lano, yeah.
And ate at Cooper's Pit Barbecue, and it was just meat.
It was fantastic.
With sauce.
It was so fantastically old school. It's like, come over here to Large Pit where we cook meat. Which of large pieces of meat in Large Pit would you like to eat? Awesome.
Totally.
Just total caveman eating, and I was in heaven.